If you, as a business, experience a downtick in demand and you see the rest of the sector is seeing higher sales, then you know you're probably struggling and it's not the sector. Another example, if we think about new vehicle dealers, they are very sensitive to consumer demand. You're not going to buy a new car if you are afraid that you'll lose your job tomorrow, if you don't have a job today. So your new vehicle dealer knows that. He sees his sales dropping, he is unsatisfied with business conditions, but only down the line do you actually see weaker consumer demand reflected on the official data.
So how do you get a quick overview of business conditions within a sector? Let's find out. The BER's very first business surveys went out in 1954.
Back then, everything was done by hand. A survey response, yes, no, up, down. In fact, some of the graphs were drawn by hand after all the results were collated. Today, everything is done electronically. Questions are usually around demand, around investment. We ask business people, what are you struggling with at the moment relative to the same quarter this time last year? And that gives you very good information around the strength of the economy. In the business surveys, we focus on a whole range of sectors within the South African economy. The building contractors, manufacturers, retailers, wholesalers, and new vehicle dealers. And the reason why we focus on these in particular is because they are good leading sectors. If they are doing well, we can assume that the rest of the economy is going to do well. If they're struggling, the rest of the economy is likely going to struggle going forward. Manufacturing is also important because it has links to the domestic economy, but also the global economy, export links. If our trading partners in Europe, the rest of Africa, China are faring poorly, local manufacturers will feel this and will experience a downtick in demand. The business confidence question. Are you satisfied with prevailing business conditions? Yes or no? And this gives you a very useful index from 0 to 100. If it's 0, no one's satisfied. If it's 100, everyone is satisfied. Business confidence is one of the few indicators to get a sense of the mood within South Africa, the business sentiment in South Africa. And beyond that, it gives you information you can't find elsewhere about constraints, about expectations around the economy. If there's lots of uncertainty around politics, around the strength of the economy, we tend to see low confidence levels, low sentiment. And when you see low sentiment or low confidence, you tend to see very low investment rates. You tend to see low employment. And this makes sense. If you're not satisfied with today's business conditions, why would you build another factory? Why would you employ more workers? Our data has a very good track record with official national statistics. And that is a strength of the survey. Information is available before we get official data. So the survey gives you a good idea of the activity, the constraints, the production dynamics in specific sectors of the economy every quarter. The traditional benefit has always been that it provides a benchmark. Business people look at these results and benchmark themselves against the rest of the sector. And if you're planning for inventories or purchases of stock, it also gives you indication in terms of expectations. It also gives you an idea of where we are today relative to our own history and where we are going. We present these survey results to policymakers from the Reserve Bank, National Treasury, within government, and that helps policymakers get a better sense of where South Africa is today. The more businesses we have participating, the more confident we are about the results. The nice thing is that we have been doing this surveys for over 70 years. So 70 years of data really helps us understand where we were and where we're going.